Yeah, so this is a case. So this is a gaming PC I've worked on a few years ago. The company, all right, so short story. Some grandparents bought their kid this computer, and they bought it from, I don't want to call it an unreputable place, but they bought it from a not so competent place. So they bought all the parts, and you can buy this case, so they bought this case. And this is what they built the computer in. Well, the CPU cooler that they put in this thing was extremely, extremely subpar. Like, extremely subpar. And any kind of gaming you'd throw at this thing, it would just instantly overheat. So we took the fan out that was in there and we replaced it with a little Noctua unit, and it's been running great for a couple years. Yeah, so all this is nothing fancy. This is actually an SFF build, a small form factor build. So it's a standard ASRock motherboard. I believe this has a 1060 in it, maybe? Let's find out. I have not yet, Master. I haven't really been on Discord today. And you can see this thing has just downward firing fans to get cooling onto individual components. Ooh, they upgraded this. This is a 3060, so this is something that they did. This was when it was in here last time. This was not a 3060. I'll have to take a look at that riser. That riser's not looking so great. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel. You know, honestly, I wouldn't call this a high end. I'd say this is like a medium end build at best. So right now, yeah, this is I don't like this. I don't like the way this looks at all. Show you guys what I am seeing. Yeah, I have a semi ITX build that we'll do at some point. It's sitting up against the wall. So this is what I'm worried about, if that is actively pulling off of the board. Because like I said, when it was in here last time, it had an actual different motherboard, different GPU in it. Let's get this out of here. We're gonna inspect this stuff before we just go and start stress testing it, because that seems like a bad idea. Okay, so let's get this thing out of here. I want to take a closer look at that vertical cable. So with this SCF build, it's actually not a bad PC, especially seeing as they upgraded it to that 3060. This thing, you know, it's pumping some heat in here. It's got two fans that are down firing on it, but there's only so much that can do. Let's pull this riser cable out of here gently. Not want to move. Did that answer your question, sir? For an all-in-one, you got to be specific. No, there's no way. Physically, there's no way. I mean, in theory, if you wanted to, you could do a you could do a custom loop, but man, that radiator would be a heck of a thin radiator you're putting in there. Okay, so maybe this isn't actually all that bad. This is crunchy though. It's got a little bit of fur in it. So this power supply is from 2015. I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's not a good sign for something like this. We have a remote power cable. Before we start pulling this off, this is one of those things I need to make sure we don't have hidden screws or anything. Doesn't look like it. Unplug this. Yep, I have, Emily. You have to remember, Emily, I've been to the UK. Not going to want to come off of there easily, is it? I see nothing on the bottom. Maybe this bottom slides off. That's what I was looking for. Right there. So, we have LED strips on the bottom. And then that front panel now will come off easier. So let's unplug these additional LED strips from this LED board. Yeah, I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. I know this thing is old. Alright, so when we look at this, they go directly across from one another. So I don't have to worry too much about that. And then this goes to the front panel, so let's get that out of there. We have one more going to the front panel right there. One more nice little clippy clip cable. This cable is our... Oh, cool, that's a front panel connector. That's easy enough. This should be the only things going through this front panel now. There we go. So now, get to what I'm actually trying to get to, which is this power supply. No screws on the bottom, all the screws are from the top. Let's get this, that's the right. Don't really need to take the left off, but we're doing it anyways. Yes, fiberglass, gotta love it. And that goes to this one, and then this goes to this bundle for some reason. I'm assuming it's for this. This is what's actually powering all that. Gotta love fiberglass. Alright, so there's a little plastic piece over here, which I'm assuming is just a shroud. We're discovering how to tear this down entirely together. Because previously when I did this, I just replaced this fan. Well, Emily, it's overheating. Or it might, actually, you know, I take that back. I don't know if it's overheating. It's just crashing when he's trying to game. So we're going to do everything we can to make it not do that anymore. So that's not connected to anything anymore. Let's see if we can get this power supply moved a little bit. So one... two, three. There we go. So this, yeah, this just looks like it's a shroud and just a little power supply relocation system. And that guy is not going to come out of there until everything gets unplugged. There's that. There's that. Undo this zip tie. Yeah, so that's what this is. This is just the power for all of the LEDs in that external board. It's just our low profile power cable. Which, to unplug this, I have to remove the power socket on the back of the case. So there's that. And then to get to the 8-pin for the CPU, gonna need something. Because my fingers are a little too wide to get in there. And that is our power supply. Removed. Cool. That leaves us with our super small form factor SFF motherboard. I'm trying to keep all of these screws isolated here. Now, the main reason that I'm doing this is, one, I can visually see how much of a clean all of this stuff is actually in need of. So that is one part of it. We'll blow this out, vacuum the case, and you can see just by looking at this like how much is just in here. Like, for a small form factor PC, this stuff can be deadly. Like, even just a little bit of interruption of airflow can be a huge problem, because we're talking about components that are so densely packed that are generating so much heat. The importance of keeping this stuff clean is greater than if it was just a standard form factor, because you have a little bit of breathing room in those cases, but with these guys, you do not. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand this up. Get some vertical height on this, get it off of the ground, and then we'll install this video card directly in, and then we're going to run a series of stress tests on it and see if anything pops up. It is not dog hair. If I had to describe this, this is I'd say lint from like a wool blanket. That is the easiest way, like, cause it's like really in here on this side. We'll pop, huh? Could be that. It's a very specific thing. All right, we'll take a look. We'll see if we can't figure it out together. Get all this stuff plugged directly in now. Yeah, it's pretty well caked inside of here as well. We need to take, there's a shell on this. We also, are you going to the back anytime soon, Mother?
No, I can't if you want me to.
Yeah, if you can go kick on the compressor while I'm doing this, please. Let me take this sleeve off of here. Yo, there is, like, here we go. This is a 300 watt power supply. From whatever company this is, Link World. I think this is under what is recommended. 550. So I think we might have found this, possibly found a problem here. So this thing's got to be tiny. So like 125 by 97. So my fear is actually not the physical size of the unit, but actually these connectors and which way these connectors are coming out. Yeah, it's not even, there's like not really even dust. It's just that fur all over the place. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab my larger power supply. We're gonna plug that in. Well, that sucks. This is going to be a problem. This post that I have here is going to prevent this actually sitting down here all the way, so I'm going to use it without the riser. I think that'll be fine. I'm not planning on moving it around much, and it just needs to support that right there. Alright, let's grab a full-size power supply. So I'll give you guys like a little bit of behind the curtain stuff that if you were here at the time, you would have gotten. Like, my business, like, in general, is in a downturn just because things are becoming less and less repairable. More people are just, you know, buying new rather than replacing. So I was in a situation where I would just take anything that came in the door. If it walked in the door and needed to be fixed, I'll do it. I still am in that way. So, like, I have a financial goal that I'm trying to hit this year, and if I don't hit it, I'm considering closing. It's a lot of things up in the air, business-wise. So I'm just not going to say no to anything. It's hard being a small business. I don't have like Best Buy's financial backing where the TVs carry the bulk of the like TVs carry the bulk of their actual revenue on a yearly basis. But it is what it is. It's been like that for a long time. Yeah, Best Buy's been shutting stores down since I was working for HP. So that's nothing new. This guy, this hard drive is a little full. Yep. And if like my whole thing is I like being a brick and mortar store is tough. Like that's why I do so much IT stuff. That's why I'm not generally here some days of the week. I do web development, and now Google's changing how that works as far as search engine optimization. Like thankfully I don't have like a retail store per se where I have tens of thousands of dollars worth of inventory sitting in the store. I just fix stuff. I'm curious if we're going to end up needing to reinstall Windows as well. Hard drive is quite full as well. Which is probably not a good thing. All right, so this the hardware seems to be fine. I think we're just going to need reinstall Windows reinstall and power supply upgrade, and I think it'll be good. But the biggest, like the other problem is going to be here. Let's grab my testing SSD and put that in here to see if the video card starts having problems with yeah, see if it has problems with the video card in there.
The next day.
All right, so here we have part 2 of this build. This is going to be a build in a small form factor PC, and this build initially came in because he was getting crashing while gaming. So what we determined is, one, his power supply is teeny tiny, not just physically, but it was like a 350 watt or 320 watt power supply, which is definitely not enough to run a 3060. So we're going to upgrade the power supply, which to do you had to literally take this whole thing apart. Then after we upgrade the power supply, we're going to reinstall Windows after making a backup of hopefully his game library, and then kind of go from there. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now we're going to need all of these little bits and bobs. This is just the exterior shrouding for this thing. Start with this this guy out of here. I don't think we're gonna need any of these because this would be the only thing that I was concerned that we might actually need to hold on to, but I don't think we're gonna need that because we should have a dedicated cable for it. So things we will need: CPU. I think we're gonna need a single Molex, and I don't think we need any SATA. Not like we had SATA. I don't think there's anything SATA in here. Everything is generally Molex. Molex. Yeah. Yeah, everything's Molex. So don't need the SATA. Here's that. And then that's CPU. So we have one problem. This great. Because we're not going to be working on this. I think someone took the cables out of here. They did. So I have to contact Amazon now. Yep, half of the, not only, basically the only cables I actually need for this are missing. So someone clearly opened this up, took them out, and then returned it to Amazon. Alright, back on the shelf with this.
The next day.
Alright, so a few days ago, we ordered a power supply for this thing. Came in, missing cables. Well, that's always fun, right? So we ended up having to order another one. We were replacing this because this, I think we determined, was a 300 watt power supply. Yep. And he's running a 3060 out of this thing. Requires a little bit bigger power supply. So, gonna work on getting this installed and all built out. We have a power supply, which is going to go in here. Cables we'll need. Motherboard, main power. Hey, look at that, PCIe. Crazy that it just didn't have that. And then CPU, and that should be it. No, I need one Molex. Now, if this thing doesn't have a Molex, then we're in real trouble, but it's got a Molex. All right, rest goes back in the box. Yes, thank you, Amazon. And then I'm sitting on this thing. I'm shipping this back to SYBER Power today, who are either going to send me a replacement unit or issue me a refund. Because reasons. Okay. So, the thing with SFF builds is that you need to... Yeah, this is just a little bit tight for my liking when I put that on there, if I remember right. Because it's pulling. So I originally replaced this cooler with this one, which is a pretty good little cooler. Doesn't take up a lot of room or anything. It's solid power. One of the things you have to make sure you do with these, right out of the gate, we need to make sure that we actually get all the cables we need installed first before we slap it into the PC, because once you have it in the PC, this thing is going to be next to impossible to get in and out or to even access this stuff. So that should be, we need to put the M2 back in here. We independently tested SYBER Power? Yeah. Or Cooler Master, excuse me. So we tested each individual part, and all of the parts themselves in this checked out fine. Put this beautiful Western Digital drive back in here. Right. There. Guy back on. Slid it on there upside down. It's screwed back in. Right. And that gets tucked underneath there. That'll be ready to go. Next, we will install this. We have to put this guy in here. This was actually just floating in here for some reason. I don't know why. Pretty sure this cutout is for this. This is supposed to line up here so that we have apparently airflow. So this is going to come in here. We need to attach this guy first. Something is preventing that from sitting all the way back in there. And what is it? Oh, it's that lip. Go. There's a little lip back there at the top of this thing. Because this power cord is actually just an extension that runs to there. Now, one of the problems I'm going to have with this is like this is actually elevated off of the bottom of the case, which is fine and all that, but that gap doesn't have like a shroud or anything. So when this thing does start pulling temperature in this case, it's just going to pull that temperature from wherever it can get air from. That it's supposed to be sitting over here like this. Yep, that goes like that. This goes like this. Power cable goes in there, runs that way. All right, I'm remembering now. Right, there are no vents on the sides. The only vent is here. All right, let's put this thing back in here. So this is that. Yeah, I was just doing it incredibly wrong. It's fine. I'll blame it on the tired. This is what I feel happened with this, is this kid's grandparents are the ones that bought all of this stuff for him. What I feel happened is some technician, wherever they bought this from, bought this case for themselves. Shoot, right. Good call. They bought this case for themselves, realized what a pain it was going to be, and then convinced this kid's grandparents that, nah, this is great, it's amazing. Buy it. Pay for my mistake. Pretty sure that's how that whole thing went. Make sure we get these cables plugged in before we go much deeper. It's gonna go there. This. Come around here. Under this. So that's the top. That's a top level cable. So we need to be aware of that. This is for the PCIe. This is for this one group of Molex. Actually, gonna leave that on there. Yeah, 2 PCIe. Where's my Molex? I only need a single PCIe. Pull out Molex. Thought I pulled out Molex. There's the Molex. I'm gonna go over there. That'll be for this. Fun part is I also have to remember to plug in all of this RGB. This goes under and over here. Yeah. There. It's going to go under this PCI riser. That goes under the PCI riser. Molex is in. We have our PCIe power. And that's going to stay up top. That has to go into that. Now, go CPU power. And then we're going to go 24 pin. Now, start this shell put back on here. Is this the top or is this the bottom? Alright. We RGB'd up. No, the only other ones we're going to have to worry about are going to be these guys. We got 2 more to do. We'll do that in a second. We have to get down there. After we install Our GPU in the riser. Oh, you're gonna tell me that this is actually supposed to go under here? Yeah, you are. That changes things. Well, at least whatever this company is not a channel sponsor. No sweat, I say, as I drip sweat into this tiny, disgusting computer case. And now we have this thing back together. Let's get. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.